Hello and welcome to Hadoop Exam Learning Resources. As we have left our Python list session up to step 11, so now let's move to the next step and complete the session of the about the list. Okay, so we have done removing the counting the words and then filtering the words which can start with H and ends with the P kind of thing, correct? So now let's do the duplication removal. Okay, so now let's first create this list again. Use site1 as our list. Okay, so this is the list we are creating here, and what it is saying, remove the duplicate elements from the list. So what we will be doing, like again we will defining a function which take an list as an input. Okay, and empty list would be created. So all the once the duplicate is removed, this result would be written, res would be written, which contains only unique element from the site1. So what we are going to do, this we will iterate over each element from the list and assign the name value in this, and if result contains this name already, correct, so result is obviously, if I would say first is a hadoopexam.com, it is not initially contains in this, then print it's if it contains, then it is a duplicate element, else append this value in this list, so add this value in the list. Okay, and so let me print this value here. Let me do this. Okay, sorry, I cannot edit right now this document, so this is the result would be written here. So as I told you, like this is like we will append the value in the list, and again next iteration would be done, and again it would be checked like whether element is there or not, correct? So are you getting it? It's very simple actually. It we have just checking like this container has already this element, then don't add it, just print this is a duplicate element and move to the next iteration. Okay, so let's define the function here first. Okay, so we have defined the function. Now site1 we will pass on and we will see what is the output. So for each element which is duplicate, it would be printing the duplicate element, and all the unique element would be output of this is result would be written, and this is the output would be here as an the unique element of the this is list site1, it would be written here. So this is returning the value here in the result. So now deleting the element from the list, so we can use the pop functions to delete the element from the list. So let's see site1 and then print here. So first I'll print the site1. So these are our element in the site1, and if I do this pop here, so what it does is actually pick up the first element, that is Hadoop here. This is 0th element, this is first element, and return the value which is removed from the list, and then this return value would be printed. Now let's print the site1. You should see like this second element was previously Hadoop, now have been removed. So pop function will help us to remove the element from the list. Now similarly, remove function is also available. Remove element first occurrence from the list. It would delete if the value matches. So if I say site1, if value is Hadoop, then remove it. So if we see now here, Hadoop is a for next element is a 0 1 2 and third position. So let's remove this element here. Okay, let's see. So now here you can see value is the we have removed the Hadoop, so third element is also removed from this list, correct? And if I print the site1, it has printed, but if I try to print the value here, so it does not print anything. So similarly, remove does not return any value. If I say, sorry, not here, if I would say remove function does not return a value here. Okay, so remove the first occurrence or value, raise value if not present, so there is no return value in this function. Okay, so now let's move using the delete operator. So first is a pop, Second is a remove. Pop return a value, remove does not return a value. And now del operator, so you can use the deletion operator and then you can delete. So we are saying delete 0th position from the site 1. So what is the first element is a hadoopexam.com. So what we will be deleting here, site 1. Now let's see what is the content of the site 1. So hadoopexam.com is now removed here. So now delete from 1 to 5. 5 is excluding. Okay, so if I do this activity, so what is exactly do is of this from Python, Spark, Python and Hadoop would be removed, correct? Here 1 to 4 index would be removed, and then we would should spark we should see here now. So here you can see spark we can see here. So this way you can remove the element. So there are multiple ways to delete the element from the list. One is a pop, another is a remove function, and another is a del operator. Now working between the list and strings. Now if we wanted to work with the list and string together, so let's say this is the sentence we have defined from here. So we are learning Python from hadoopexam.com learning resources. Okay, so let's define this sentence first here. Now character list, if I wanted to change the list here, so what it does is actually list function, if I use on the sentence, it will create for each character as a sequence and create a list out of this. So let me do this exercise here. So here you see each character would be part of the list now here. So this way the string can be converted into the list here. Now convert sentence to list of words. Now I don't want each character, I want to be as each word should be this as a part of my list item. So what we will be using, split function. A split function by default uses space as a separator and it will separate out the each function. So let's see, do this activity. So now here you can see each element is a word of the our sentence here. Now joining the list, if I have this element and if I wanted to join all the element from the list or I wanted to create a sentence or kind of thing, so you can do this. But Hadoop exam, Hadoop Spark, and the what would be the separator between this each element would be this delta would be using as a tilde, sorry, would be using as a separator here. So let's me see here, that is the output here. So that way we can join the list. Now let's object and values in the string. If you don't understand right now object, don't worry, object is the one space in the memory area. So suppose this is our computer memory, and whatever we are creating now right now, like any string you are creating, like Hadoop is a string, correct? If you are creating in the memory, so this is, assume this is one object, this is course name. Okay, so this is an object in your memory area. Okay, so this is an object, just remember here. If you right now, that is good enough to understand to move here. So here we are creating two objects, site 1 and site 2. So this is my one object is site 1 and another object is site 2. Okay, so first object hold the Hadoop exam and second object also hold the Hadoop exam, and this is also Hadoop exam. Now here important thing here, when you create a string object with the same value, Python does not create the more than one object if the string objects are a same value is the same. So what exactly here I mean to say, let me again draw the diagram here. So if both the object is a Hadoop exam is my string, so site 1 object which I have created is also pointing to this object and site 2 is also pointing to same object. Okay, this is the case of string only. If two strings are same, then to avoid the memory space, okay, to save the space Python will not create a new object for you in the memory. It will be created. This happens only with the string. Okay, just remember, Python created only one string object. How would you check? Site1 is site2 is operator will tell you whether both the objects are being pointed to the same object in the memory area. So let me check here. If it is the case of yeah, but if it is a true, then it should print the true. Correct. This is the, if it is the correct statement, both are the pointing the same object, then it should return the true. Yes, this is true. Equal equal, this sign means the value in each object is also same. Definitely the value is also same in this. So in this it would print here true. Correct. Now here, now let's create a two list with the same value, site1 and site2. Two lists would be created here. Now this is the list, these are not, this is a list of string. Okay, but this is a different object. So as I mentioned, this case happens only with the string. Even with the same value here, both the object would be separately created in the memory area. So if we are creating two lists with the same value, if both the list is a say contains same value, still there would be a two object would be created. So because why that, this is a different story here, because list is mutable and this is immutable, so that is fine, we can create a pool of string. But here we are not going to create a pool of list here, because one object can be modified here, kind of thing. So here we will define this two list here. Okay, let's copy it, this here. Now if I would check site is site2, definitely it should not be. As I mentioned, it should be a false. Correct, because both are pointing to different object. But the content, if I wanted to check whether both the list contain the same content, see what is the output. It's a true. Correct, because it will check the content. This equal equal operator check the content, and this check the whether both the objects in the memory are pointing the same or not. List passed by as a reference. What I reference means here. Okay, I'll tell you, this is very important point to remember actually. Okay, how would I explain? That's what I'm thinking actually. Suppose I have a list. This is okay, this contains some element in the list, and that is in our memory area. This is our memory area. If I pass this list in the method argument here, like here my list, so whatever modification inside the method you will be doing would be applied to the same list. Okay, getting my point? So that is very dangerous if you don't remember this thing. Okay, so this would be applied to the same method. So if I would say here my list is, I would pass site1 here. Okay, and remove all the Hadoop elements. So what we are doing here, if I any change make to the my list in this function, the actually site1 would also be changed here. Getting my point here? So because this function is not returning any value, so anything you would do here inside the function will also would be exactly replicated in the actual object. Okay, if let me define the function here. Okay, first you understand this, my list I'm passing it here, word I wanted to remove from the list. So for name in my list, I would check for each name contains the word, my list dot contains this word. Okay, then my list dot remove the word. Okay, why I iterated I don't know. We should have not required this line actually, so we can just have a if condition here, and that is fine. We can remove the oh, that's the reason. Remove the first element. If I iterate over this, so I can remove all the elements. Sorry, so that is required here. Okay, so we'll be removing all the duplicate elements from the list here. So we don't want to keep any element which not duplicate. The word which is in the list would be removed here. So let me print here sorry, define the function. Now pass the site1. I'm not sure site1 is still contains the, okay, let me check first. Site1 has the element or not. Not good enough. Let's create our old site1, big one. Yeah. So now this is the bigger site1. Okay, now uh, remove the Hadoop word from this list. Okay, so what exactly here I have done, I have modified the original list because I have passed this list to this, and any modification I do inside this list would be modified. So here actually when we pass the my list, it does not create a copy of the list and pass to this. It would give the actual pointer of this list, okay, which is in the memory. This pointer is passed on this function, and the you will be working on the actual list. So the element Hadoop would be removed from this site1 list. Okay, so let me just print here site1 and see all the Hadoop element from the list would be removed. So previously our site was this. Now this all the Hadoop element have been removed from the list. So that is, you must remember, the whenever you pass on the list to the function, list is a modifiable element. Whatever you do the modification, actual list would be modified here. Okay, just remember this. Distinguish between the operation that modify the list and operation that create a new list. For example, the append method modified the existing list, but plus operator creates a new list. So let's create the site1 here. Okay, okay, we have created site1. What we are doing, site1 plus element, we are adding it. So if you see, by using this plus operator, you are not actually modifying the site1. So this plus operator, what exactly does is append the element and return the new list. Okay, here, so you can see here, so site 3 has new element added, cloud computing, but if you do the site 1, it does not. So plus operator does not modify the original list, but uh, but it create a new list and provide. But if you use the append operator, then it will modify your existing list. So see here, and now print the x is not, because after appending it does not return anything, so x has hold nothing, but site 1 have been updated by the last element have been added as a sass here in the list, correct? So if I print all three lists, so as we have already done, so you can see x contains none. Okay, site 1 contains the sass added, and site 3 is contained the two lists added here. So that is it. So remember about this list, most list methods modify the argument and return the none. So they modify the same list and return the none value. So this is the opposite of the string methods, which returns a new string and leave the original as alone, original as it is. Okay, there are too many ways to do the things. For example, to remove an elements we from a list, you can use pop, remove, del, or even slice assignment we can do. Make copies to avoid aliasing. If you don't want to modify your own list, okay, which is original, like in case of site 1 in our previous example, if I don't want to modify this list, so then what I'll do, I'll first create a copy of the list, like just create site 1 site 2 equals to uh, site 1 or something I'll create. Okay, and then pass on this list. So if any thing would be changed here, would not be impacting my original list. Okay, so you can do this, but you need to keep the original list as well. You can make a copy out of it. To add an element, you can use the append method or the plus operator. So that's all about this list sessions of this. So thanks for watching, and I hope you like this session. So these are the all products provided by the hadoopexam.com. You can just visit the hadoopexam.com and see the products if you are interested in. Okay, so thanks for watching, and again I wanted to mention the all the modules would be available here. You can watch here python.trainingforexam.com. You can just go and watch this module. Okay, so that is available for you. So thank you, and I'm stopping now.